Alright, hey you guys, it is TsubakiSwagg and I'm coming to you with my review of Death Parade episode 5, Death March. And this episode, I was so confused for the longest time watching this episode. Like, I honestly don't know what I thought, because I mean, of course, like, first they show a little like story of this little boy, and he just moved to a new house and it was snowing outside, and he saw this little girl playing on the ice with her dog, and he wanted to go talk to her. And when he finally built up the courage, he went out to her and she just like waved to him, telling him come on. So they were playing, but he was running towards her and he fell in a pitfall. He was like screaming and hollering. It hurt so bad, but when she walked up, she just smiled at him, and her smile was so cute that it made his pain go away. He didn't even think about it anymore. So the assistant, she wakes up out of her dream. She was dreaming about this, and and if you notice, the two dolls that are, I want to say it's her lap, that are sitting in her lap at the end of the opening credits are the two characters from that story that was played inside her head. So she gets to the bar and Decim is switching out the roulette board, and it has a picture of the girl from the story, and she was like, what is this, why are you changing this out, blah blah blah. And he was like, well, Nona told me to switch it out. And may I say, I want that freaking pool table. If that pool table exists anywhere in the world, I want it. I would be willing to pay a lot of money for that pool table, because that pool table is freaking awesome. And I love playing pool too. That pool table is amazing. I would love the person for forever and a day if somebody could find that pool table for me. But Nona and Oculus, I'm gonna call him Oculus, we're playing pool, and they were talking about like, how long has Nona been an arbiter? She's been an arbiter for 82 years. 82 years! And they've played like over 5,000 times, meaning they had to have played 170 games a year. So that's almost like 170 games. That'd be like 2 a week, about 2 or 3 a week, give or take. So just this, that pool table is just freaking amazing. I keep thinking about that pool table. Then they were playing, and every time they've played, he very rarely wins. She always plays all out. So they were playing and she still won anyways. But he pretty much was like talking to her and telling her, well, from what I got from it, was pretty much like him telling her that she needs to lighten up. And he's very laid back. He thinks of like playing pool like relaxing, because I mean, they are arbiters. They do their job all day every day for years and years and years. Like, Nona has been an arbiter for 82 years. So she's been doing the same job every day for 82 years. Just imagine that. I would have a heart attack if I had to work at my job for 82 years. So no. So we see Decim, they are about to get a new set of people, and it's the little kid that you see, that we saw at the end of last week's episode, and a man. And they come in, and the little kid like bumps into the man, and the man is really hostile. But Decim, right before they came in, he got their memories, and he was like, that's odd. And Nona was like, what do you mean, not Nona? The assistant was like, what does he mean by odd? And they came in, like I said, he was rude, and the little kid was just being like by himself. And my first thought was that the little kid was the kid from the story. I don't know why, but that was literally the first thought that came to my mind. I was like, oh, this is a little kid from the story that she had a dream about. So they get in there, and the man, he's like, I feel like I've been here before. I feel like I've seen your face before, blah, blah, blah. Then he has like little flashbacks of the mannequins that Decim makes, and he flips out, and he like holds the kid hostage with chopsticks after Decim had already fed him and all that good stuff, gave him beer and everything, and he was holding the kid hostage and was about to kill him, and Decim pretty much talked him out of, like, talked the chopsticks away from the kid, and he strung him up and knocked him out. and then the little kid knocked out the assistant, and then it turns out that it was Ginti and Decim actually fight, and that fight was actually pretty awesome. Decim didn't even have to lay a finger on him, literally. But Decim, he like strung him up, and then Ginti, he let Ginti down, and Ginti like pulled out his water. He kind of, I don't know why it reminded me of Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender, but he like pulled out his water, and he shot him at Decim, and Decim caught him with his strings, and then Ginti rushed for him, and Decim snatched him up and threw him into the jellyfish tank. I was like, no, not the jellies. And then he was about to come at him again, and Nona clotheslined the mess out of him. Like literally snot came out of his nose. So you know he ran real hard into her arm, because literally like snot shot out of his nose. And then I don't know what she did. She put her hand on the back of his neck and knocked him out. Like he was paralyzed. I wouldn't say she broke his neck, but he was paralyzed. He could not move. Like he said he couldn't move anything from the neck down. So they pretty much picked him up and laid him on the bar, and Nona was talking to Decim, telling him like, do you know why I'm here? And this was like a test. This was the Quinn test. And she was pretty much like, well, whenever you get somebody who doesn't have memories, you're supposed to stop the test, because all humans have memories in this game. The whole point of being an arbiter is drawing all the memories and all the darkness out of the person, so that way you can pass judgment. So when they don't have any memories, you stop the test immediately. And he didn't do that because he was just distracted by the man, which was the whole point of the test. So Decim, looks like Decim might be in hot water, because in the next week's episode it looks like Ginti is going to be taking the reins, and we're going to see, I guess, one of his rulings. So, and Clavis, he's so cute. Like when Ginti was laid out on the bar, Clavis was like poking his face. Nona, like, I guess woke him up, because she knocked him out at one point because he was doing too much. So Nona woke him up, and he was yelling at Decim and all that good stuff. And then we find out that the man that was supposed to be tested was actually one of Decim's dummies. So Clavis like brushed him off and picked him up and was getting ready to take him, and Decim was like, so do I have anybody else coming? And Clavis says, no, you have the day off. So I was like, day off? Well, okay. So Decim like takes the assistant to her room, where she's still knocked out. But it turns out that the assistant is actually a human. Like, she is a human being, and she's not supposed to be there, because when she first got there, she already knew that she was dead. So he couldn't bribe her into playing any of the games, because she already knew that she was dead. So he erased her memories, and then now I guess this is his way of passing judgment on her, is by the way she acts in the bar or whatever. But I don't know. This episode was pretty awesome. And then of course we see like Nona, she's talking to Castra, I can't remember what her name is, but she's looking at this monitor, and she said that like 7,000 people are dying an hour. So things are getting kind of hectic down there. So yeah, and then at the very end of the episode, we see the end of, well, I guess not the end of the story, but we see a little bit more of the story after he, like, the little boy, Jimmy, he was playing with the little girl, and she would never talk or anything, and it turns out that she's deaf. So she never heard what he said, so he pretty much showed her like what he was trying to tell her, and they played together, and he was so happy. And he got home and he told his mom about her, and his mom told him that her name was Chavvot. So he kept saying Chavvot, Chavvot, Chavvot. So one day he is going to show her his feelings towards her. And then that story is so cute. And then it turns out at the end that Nona is reading the book. So I don't know, I want to say that Nona is the one that's putting the memories of the book into the assistant's head. I wish they would tell us what her name is, because I'm getting tired of calling her the assistant. But I think that Nona is the one who's putting those thoughts into her head, I guess, to see, maybe, I want to say maybe it has something to do with her. I don't know. I'm confused. but this show is just confusing to begin with. But like I said, next week's episode, it looks like we're going to be seeing Ginti do some orbiting. So I think it's going to be pretty awesome. He is very high strung. He reminds me a little bit of Natsu from Fairy Tail, like he's saying, just looking at him gets him riled up. But yeah, so as always, I would love to hear how you guys felt about this episode. How do you feel about the way things turned out? Do you think that Decim might not have much longer being an arbiter? He's been an arbiter for 5 years now, from what they said in this episode. So I want to see how things turn out with him and the assistant. I want to see how Ginti does things. But yeah, so as always, please remember to comment, thumbs up, and subscribe. It helps me out a whole lot. And this is TsubakiSwagg saying adios.